Can you actually get one?
I haven't gotten one yet, but I've arranged a meeting with a dude that has one in a couple of hours.
Sounds like a drug deal.
It kind of was last night I was calling guys in Yonkers and they were like, "Man, I'm fresh out, but I'm getting some later this week."
You mean a physical coin?
It's not a physical coin. It's just zeros and ones that make up a Bitcoin, right? But
digital,
it's a digital currency that I was all excited. I am excited. I'm going to do 12 days of Bitcoin, modeled after the 12 days of Christmas. I'm going to do something different with my Bitcoin every day, assuming I get one today. And I like to live off the grid, anonymously, do things that maybe are gray area.
This is a virtual currency, and you had to call people up to get one? Like, you couldn't find it online?
So, first I started trying on Thursday to get one online. So, there's a number of ways you can do it, but you have to register your bank account and your social security number and put in your credit cards, and I thought, absolutely not. So, I started trying to use Bloomberg's corporate bank account and Bloomberg's corporate credit card instead, because I don't want my information out there on the net, but that didn't work either.
Help those of us that are clueless. How do other people get a Bitcoin?
There are a number of methods. The easiest one, assuming you're willing to give up all of your personal information, is Coinbase.com. That's the one that I actually went all the way through and signed up for.
And you had to give all this personal information.
I finally decided I'm going to do it because my boss told me to. I'm giving up all my personal information. But then it takes 4 days to get the Bitcoin into your account. You can also meet up with people at localbitcoins.com. You can set up these meetings, and the guys
so the Winklevi are waiting for you at a coffee house.
These are essentially marketplaces where you never know what you're going to pay until you get there, right? Because the price is constantly
and the price varied so widely. I was looking at $727 for a Bitcoin, and some other guys were asking $1,200 and change
at the same time.
Yeah, at the same time, and on the same platform. And what's interesting was also, if you look at the price chart, it just rockets up like a Tom Keene hockey stick, and then drops like a Led Zeppelin. And if you look at the volume chart, it does the same thing. So the problem was, after the price dropped, nobody wanted to sell it.
David, you wrote The Facebook Effect. It was an iconic book. If you were to write The Bitcoin Effect right now, where would you start?
Well, the main thing to start with is why it really matters, and that is
for the black market and for criminal activities.
Well, it probably matters for that, but that's not what I was going to say. The thing I think makes it most important is that it is a non-government issued transnational currency, which is the first time we've ever had anything like that. It's sort of an evolution of the Internet. The Internet is the ultimate transnational, non-governmental thing that, well, it sort of started in the U.S., but it really is global. Everything that happens on it is truly global. It's a huge challenge for governments to regulate that activity. And now we actually have a new kind of money that is emerging just for that medium.
Stop. When it's down 46% by Friday, David Wu puts out his report. The thing does a 6 standard deviation moonshot. It collapses almost half its value. That's not a currency unless you're in Zimbabwe.
Well, there's a debate as to whether it's a security or a currency, which is an interesting one. But I think it needs a marketplace that's really a reliable one, clearly, that doesn't yet exist.
And we should point
regardless of whether it's one or the other.
All of us are too inside baseball. We're in the business. We follow it. Peter, I want to bring you in. Bitcoin, does it mean anything to you in the world of Baltimore?
It means nothing to me, and unless I can figure it out, we're sticking with existing currency.
Well, there you go. This is a real guy saying it really doesn't matter.
No, it's very hard to understand. I totally sympathize with that point of view. I mean, I wouldn't try to spend... Are you really going to try to live on Bitcoin?
I am going to try and live on it for the next couple of weeks. And a number of people have already done this.
Foods in the cupboard.
There was a woman from Forbes who lived on it for a week, and she figured out ways, although she's kind of like a bicycle-riding, vegan type of San Francisco person.
Like you.
Nobody's getting a vicuña on Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is worth anywhere from $700 to $1,400. What are the denominations of Bitcoin?
You can buy it in fractions, and there's some Japanese name for the cents. It's like sativos or something. And you can do a lot of real stuff with it. You can buy things on the internet. You can't use it on Baidu, which is one of the reasons that it tanked last week. But you can also
you could up until last week.
There's a service in Boston where you can order food from like 1,000 restaurants on the internet and pay for it in Bitcoin.
I would never be one of those restaurants because you might think, oh, I got $10 for my hamburger, but oh no, I only got $2 for my hamburger.
But people were smart who were early adopters to the internet, and if you're comparing this to the internet, maybe it makes sense to be an early adopter.
Not if you're a store, but I think, you know, there is an easier way to get it, by the way. If you're a mathematician, right, you can actually mine Bitcoin by solving the mathematical equations that are very challenging.
And if you're a technologist,
that's the way it is created in the first place.
I think, you know, the thing is, it's harder to get and it's harder to understand by standard deviations the older you are than 20, right? So for me, it's almost impossible to understand. For Tom, it's never going to happen. So
I go with what I said on Twitter. It's a medium of idiocy. It's absolute malarkey, and I'll stay with that. Thanks, Matt Miller. Good luck. What are you doing the next week? You're going to go find a Bitcoin, right?
I'm going to get one from Max Raskin's going to come on In the Loop, and he's going to sell me one. He's got a supply.